issues without the echoing happening. Okay, it looks like it's working. All right, so let's keep going. Hello, is it necessary to add a letter to change your address in your immigration procedure? Change of address is usually done under AR11. Under VAWA, it might be a little different because of their confidentiality rules. So we as attorneys have a protocol we have where we have to contact them directly through a special email to have certain changes done to the application. But usually it's done through Form AR11. You must do this after changing your address. How do I check for my priority date? Go to the National Visa Bulletin. If the date on your petition is your priority date on the petition or the receive date. If the receive date is on or before the date on the National Visa Bulletin that fits your category, you have to look at your specific category, then it means that your priority date is current. So and I did a video of this on the YouTube channel, Getting the Green Card. I think it's why does the adjustment of status for spouses of residents take so long? But I delve into great detail to explain the priority date and how it relates to the National Visa Bulletin. So if you want to go to Getting the Green Card on YouTube, subscribe there. You'll be able to look through the videos and you'll be able to find that one. Now we have lives, we have reels, and then we have the videos. Do I need a travel document when I'm on the conditional green card? No, you can travel on a valid, unexpired conditional green card. And please do not travel outside of the United States if it's about to expire. There was one case where I heard of where the person traveled. So the person was in the middle of applying for to get their 10-year green card from their 2-year. And they were so confident that their 10-year green card was going to be approved that they left the country with their 2-year green card about to expire. And when that happened, they got a big fat denial in the letter after they arrived in their country and the card expired. And guess what that happened? They were stuck outside of the country because they were not let onto the plane, seeing that they were denied and now their card is expired. So please make sure that you are traveling way in advance of expiration of the card, or that you do have the extension letter stating the extension letter showing that you have still valid time on your card. What determines that you overstayed your B2 visa? So let me just make sure here. Okay, so if they put in your pass, so usually you're given 6 months maximum, but if they've stamped your passport a specific date, then if you overstayed that time, then you overstayed and your visa is automatically invalid. Will using the relief benefits affect green card application? No, not with these, not with VAWA, not with the T visa. You're exempt. In those cases, you're exempt. For the DV, do you think Jamaicans will be able to qualify at next renewals? I'm not sure. DV. Okay, diversity lottery. I'm thinking you're talking about diversity lottery. I'm not sure. Can you break down what DV means? There's a lot going through my mind with DV. So we have diversity lottery, we have domestic violence. So I'm blanking out here. So please just put what DV means. How easy it is to apply for green card after T visa approval before 3 years? So you usually have to get a special permission to apply before 3 years. It's relatively, a straightforward process where we get in touch with the Department of Justice, but it can be time consuming because it takes some time to get that letter. But once we get the letter, then you can move forward with adjustment of status. I already did my biometrics for another adjustment of status. Do I need to do it again? If they call you to do it again, do it again. So if they don't question it, don't say, but I did it again, just do it and call it a day. But if they have not called you to do any more biometrics, then you're good. Chances are they've accepted. But sometimes what they do too is they send a reuse notice saying they already have your biometrics on file, so they will not call you for another one. My visa was revoked because I'm a foreigner who gave birth in the US. It's many years now. Can I reapply? My son is 17 and is living in the US now. You can always reapply for a visa, but you have to make sure you come really good with evidence to show you have strong ties to your home country. Can an F2 visa holder qualify for EB2 NIW change of status? It's possible. Of course, as an F2 visa holder, you would have to show evidence that you are pursuing a goal of national importance and substantial merit, that you have the means to achieve that goal. Usually that means the experience, the connections, the know-how to achieve this goal, this special goal, as well as that it is beneficial. So whatever field you're going into, whatever you're trying to achieve is going to be beneficial enough to the US that they should give you the green card without requiring an employer to file for you. So it's possible, but we have to understand what you have to understand is as an F2, that means a student visa. Well, F2, F1 is a student. So if you're F2, that usually means you're the spouse or child of an F1 student visa holder. So if you, as an F2, you have the experience, you have the education, you have the goals, and it can be clearly stated how you plan to achieve those goals, then it is a possibility. Is there a charge to the new rule for the T visa early EAD? So now with us, when we file for our clients, and this is where we stick it out with our clients, um, we give a flat fee, and that fee includes everything that we have to do. So we do not include additional fees to apply for the EAD. We include it in our flat fees, and we represent our clients through the entire process. So it means that we continue to advocate for our clients with anything that comes up related to the T visa. So generally, it's included in our flat fee. How you go about getting work permit? Many ways, but what we need to do is talk to you first. If you're outside of the country, it's not going to be a work permit, it's going to be a work visa. If you're in the US, it's going to be um, maybe a work permit, but we have to figure out how you qualify for it because there are multiple ways you can qualify. All right. Hi there, YouTube. I'm glad to see the questions coming in. I was a little worried there. It was quiet for a bit, but I see the questions coming in now. Please, if someone wins VAWA case, can his kids pay for filing fees for green card? So keep in mind that filing fees is zero right now. So that's a benefit. While we were all freaking out about increased fees, with T visa, U visa, asylum, VAWA, all fees are zero. So before we used to have to pay adjustment of status, we don't have to pay that. Sometimes we had to pay for the work permit. We don't have to pay for that anymore. So we don't. Sometimes we had to, if there was a waiver involved for the T visa, we had to pay for it. After April 1st, we don't have to pay for it again. So that's the good news. I'm married to a green card holder, but I'm out of status and she's eligible for citizenship, but she refused to do it because we have some problems and it's stressing me out right now. Any suggestions? Call us. We have clients in your exact situation and they're winning now. They have peace, right? Because their VAWA is an option here. It may be an option. We have to talk to you about what problems you're having, what is causing the stress. But usually, this is a big red flag that you qualify for VAWA. So get in touch with us. Let's talk. Is it okay for someone to file both the VAWA and the T visa application? Yes, it's fine. If someone married in 2022, got I-130 approval in 2022, if someone married in 2022 it's possible. Yes, it's possible. How long does it normally take for the letter from the Attorney General for the green card for the T visa? So it can take a year. Right now, it's taking a year to a year and a half to get it. But keep in mind that if you start early enough, you're still at an advantage to be able to get the green card earlier. Can I adjust my status on a B1, B2 to a work permit? It depends on your circumstances. This is where it's important to call us, schedule your appointment so we can determine. Now, if you're here on a B1, you're visiting right now, and you just want to see if you can get the work permit, it's very unlikely, right? Remember, when you're traveling on a B1, B2, you're saying you're not going to work here. It's one of those visa categories that does not allow you to apply for a work permit. I just saw a case where somebody came here on a B1, B2, thought that the employer could sponsor them. They went ahead and went through that process, and they got into trouble at the airport. So if you're coming here to visit, you cannot just get a work permit, right? But in certain cases, I've represented clients who have come on their visa. They've ended up in a situation where they needed help or relief or immigration assistance, and we've been able to get the work permit for them. But it wasn't because they came on a B1, B2. It was because of the circumstances that they were facing. How take motion to remand before asylum case, remove my, okay, VAWA approved. So I'm not sure that's complex. You definitely need to talk to your attorney. If you're in the middle of filing motions in the court, I wouldn't be able to answer that. You'd have to talk to your attorney. If someone got married in 2022 to a U.S. citizen, got an approved I-130 in September 2022, then filed for VAWA in January 2024, yes, that sounds pretty like something that can happen. I've had cases like that. And the benefit of the approved I-130 is the approved I-130 is also showing that you had a bona fide marriage. So it helps to meet the bona fide marriage criteria. If you lost your A number in 2017, what is the best way to get it back? They came by boat and was sent home. FOIA, where you request your records, that's going to be the best way. If your partner has a T visa status and you want to get married, can my partner apply for a visa for me after we get married? Yes. I have a friend whose lawyer helped her to file for expedite on VAWA. Are USCIS going to reply to her for a response or not? Talk to the lawyer. I don't know what her case is, but I wouldn't be able to predict what's happening in a case that another attorney is working on. How easy is it to apply for green cards? I answered that. What is the likelihood of getting a visitor's visa if my boyfriend is in the army and has asked for me to be at his graduation? They not only look at that, that's a good reason to be here, but they want to see that you have strong ties to your home country that will mean that you're going to go back after a temporary visit. I turned 18 in May, but green card expires in February. I cannot file for N400. So it doesn't matter. No, you can go forward with the N400. Keep in mind that having an expired green card does not mean that you are no longer a permanent resident. You can get a stamp extend. You can apply for renewal, which will give you they just released that they're giving 3-year extensions. If you have to renew your 10-year green card, they're giving 3-year extensions while they process your green card again. And you can get a special stamp still showing that you're a green card holder. So it should not stop you from applying for citizenship. How to add kids derivative to my case at the NVC? Contact the NVC, let them know, and send your birth certificate, send the birth certificate showing the relationship with the petitioner, or that they qualify. So contact the NVC ASAP. I want to come to America. How do I go about it? What is the best way to come? There are multiple ways. It depends on your qualifications. After filing for asylum, can the person marry a U.S. citizen and change to I-130? It's possible, but be very careful. I've seen some situations where people, unfortunately, a lot of people think that they can just apply for asylum and just to get the work permit, and that's called a frivolous filing. That can be a lot of problems. And sometimes when you get married and you're going through the adjustment of status process, that fact comes out, right, that you just applied for the asylum for the work permit. So I often say be cautious, get legal advice. We'd have to understand what facts are involved in your asylum to determine that that's going to be a right move for you. My T visa was submitted on June 28th of this year. Will I get work permit since law changed in August 28th? So, what the immigration has said they're going to do is for applications that have already been submitted, when at the time that they're considering it for a final decision, if at the time they need additional information, they are going to go ahead and issue a bona fide determination letter, then send a request for evidence to allow those whose applications are already in for them to still get a work permit while they wait. So, what they're saying then is if it's going to take them longer because of some issue with the application, it's going to take them longer to make a decision, then they're going to issue a bona fide determination. But what we are doing on our end is we are still being proactive to submit those work permit applications beforehand so that when it gets before the officer that they can still issue a work permit earlier than a final decision if needed. So it depends on how far gone your case is. If your case has been pending for a year, it's very likely that you're just going to have to wait for your final decision because it takes about a year to 18 months to get the final decision. Can expedite the request case cause any problems? Not usually, unless there's some kind of lie involved or problem there, but not usually. What happened with good faith determination for the T? So good faith, it's I think you mean the bona fide determination. So that's in process now. Keep in mind it's brand new, so it's going to take a while for us to see the results of it. But it is in effect because we are submitting work permits related to the new bona fide determination, and we're getting receipt notices for it. So they have accepted the applications. And previously, so I did have colleagues that submitted previously thinking maybe they would accept it previous to August 28th, and it didn't work. So now they're accepting those applications. I filed VAWA application on March 8th. It's been 6 months, still waiting on EAD. How long? It can take up to a year for to get that, even maybe 13 months. So keep in mind that I don't control processing times. I can only tell you based on my own experience as an immigration attorney what the timeline looks like. So 6 months is great timing, but you can expect up to 12 months, maybe 13, and then again, it can change. Is it much more faster to file my case if I go private immigration rather than county immigration attorney? My U visa is already on 5th year, and my T visa is almost a year now. So you've already filed it. So if you've already filed your application, that means that the processing times are in the hands of immigration, and so the whatever immigration attorney you're using is not going to make a difference at this point. My husband and I went for a first appointment and received notification that I just need my ID. So I'm not sure if that's a question or what if your interview was canceled by USCIS? You have to wait for them to reschedule. And what we have seen is sometimes they cancel and then send a green card because they realize that they have everything they need to make a decision. What happens if a divorce is filed, but I-130 approved, but green card is still pending? So you have to be careful with this. Technically, you're still married when it's filed. This is the time when you have to determine whether you need to apply for VAWA. Because if you're divorced and I-130 approved, green card is still pending, it means that they might very well call you in for an interview. And if you and your spouse are not going to attend the interview as a married couple, and they will ask about the divorce as well. So that could be a problem. So you definitely need to get legal advice to figure out if VAWA is a better option for you here or how to move forward. I applied for T visa and did my biometrics last June. Is there anything I have to do with the new policy? So you would get a bona fide determination, so they're going to be proactive on that end. But when it comes to the work permit, if you don't make a move to apply for the work permit earlier, then they're going to send the bona fide determination, but not the work permit. And then you have to apply for the work permit, which could take another month, and it maybe wouldn't even make any sense. So I would say that's where you have to decide whether you're going to take those additional actions. Now, if you said last June, as in, I don't know if you mean last year June or this year June, or as in last June. But if it was last year June, then a decision may be coming soon and it may not be worth taking additional steps. But it will not hurt to have a backup plan in case they're going to take much longer to make a decision on the T visa. What state are you located? We're based in Florida. We do represent clients in all 50 states and around the globe. So no matter where you are, we can help. My husband and I applied, for the first interview, got another notification to bring ID. Is this a second interview? Yes, it could. It sounds like a second interview to me. And usually, when they are doing a second interview, it means that it means that they're suspicious. So it's called a Stokes interview. And that means that they're really going to test you on the bona fides of your marriage to see if this is a setup marriage or if it's real. This can be tough. They can have you in an interview for 2 hours separately, in an interview for 2 hours. And they will match every single answer to the questions that you've given. And I've seen where if even one question does not match, they go ahead and send a notice of intent to deny. So you definitely want to be ready for this second interview. Hi, can you tell me what do for expediting Form I-130 for brother? It's been 3 years. So that's a tough one, because the process is really 14 years long at minimum. Can even be longer if you're in Mexico or Philippines. So Mexico is over 20 years. Philippines, I believe Philippines is 19, so almost 20 years. So, for them to expedite it a whole 17 years earlier than normal, it really has to be extraordinary circumstances, which I doubt you would be able to meet that bar. I don't know what your circumstances are, though. This is where it's very important to speak to an immigration attorney. But it is unlikely that they are going to expedite a case so far from the date, the processing timeline. I my add my kids as derivatives to my NVC case, petitioners as citizen. So contact the NVC to get them added. Is the I-129F process faster than the I-130? So this is fiance visa faster than the spouse process. So the fiance process, you could still be seeing 1.5 years. The I-130 process, I would say 1.5 to 2 years. So I would say they're running on a similar timeline. Can you tell if there is any chance for me to have a green card? I used to be a student, but I do not have that status anymore. That's not enough information for me to tell you. But this is where you definitely call, schedule an appointment. Let's talk. I have created resources to allow us to help as many people as possible. We have 3 attorneys, including myself, working to see what we can do for immigrants, for as many of my clients as possible. So please, the time is being booked out for all 3 of us. So please make sure that you go ahead, schedule your appointments so that we can talk about your situation and determine whether you qualify. Someone got married in 2022, got approved I-130 2022 in September, filed for VAWA in January 2024. When would be the priority date for the I-360? So if your spouse is a U.S. citizen, the priority date doesn't count here. This only counts, let me see, VAWA and green. I'm not sure if Greenland or green card. Now, if the receive date is the priority date, if it does apply here, because I'm not sure if you're married to a green card holder. Hello, ma'am. Please submitted all my documents for NVC for about 12 months. How long should I wait for interview dates? So I would say 1.5 years to 2 years wait time, unfortunately. I've been in the US for 8 years now, waiting for my U or T to be approved. My wife and daughter are already under, so I don't see the rest. Hello, ma'am. Please have submitted my documents. I answered that. I received my green card 2 months ago, but I have not seen any movement on my daughters. How long does usually take for the dependents card to go through? So it depends on where your daughter is. If your daughter is outside of the US, plan for another 1.5 years. If your daughter is here in the US, it could be a few months to another year for them to process the adjustment of status. I've been here for 6 years and have been working for 4 years. What are my options? Working alone isn't going to qualify you for anything. I have to understand what your circumstances are. What's your status? What are your family relationships? Where do you work? How do you, what's your education level? All of that is going to count towards what your options are. I also completed a background check for my I-360. What happens next? It was clear. Um, so after that, usually after or before you prima facie and then work permit. Right, I'm getting a lot of good questions. If my citizen dad petitioned for me and my brother in 2018, we are over 21 and I am in the US. My case was denied. My brother's approved. Is there anything can be done now? Dad passed away. I'm so sorry. You may be able to apply for an I-601 waiver, I-601A waiver to go to the embassy and attend an interview there. Or you can call us and we can talk about your circumstances to determine whether there are alternative options for you. Because in cases like this, where you've realized that you're stuck in the US, I have been able to find alternative options like the T visa and even VAWA for my clients. So definitely give us a call and let's talk. I filed for VAWA in January 2024. I did the biometrics in July 8th. I didn't receive a work permit or a prima facie is normal. Yeah, so I would say it might be taking a little longer for your prima facie to be issued. Usually I get those even before the biometrics is scheduled. If it's taking too long, I usually get in touch with them and ask them if it's been sent. And that's usually when I get the copy of the prima facie. Can one transition from F1 to residency, STEM focus? Is possible through the national interest waiver. Maybe if you can show experience and education, extraordinary ability, if you can show that you're at the top of your field, those may be pathways, and through an employer, of course. Can you tell me if there is any chance for me to get a green card? I used to be a student, but I just being a student alone isn't going to get you the green card. I would have to figure out what qualifies you. Is it family? Is it employment? Is it humanitarian means? My son is an American, but I'm not. He got married about 2 years ago and he filed for his wife's green card. I only want to work. Is there any way he can help me? So, if your son is a US citizen and is age 21 or older, absolutely, your son can petition for you. So it's to figure, be able, I don't know your situation, I'm not your attorney, but if your son is 21 or older, yes. Now, if your son is mistreating you, know that you can apply for your own green card, your own work permit without involving your son. But and I know the number one concern for parents is my is my child going to get into trouble? And the answer is no, they will not get into trouble. The relative, that's not the purpose of immigration. It's to focus on you and getting relief for you. So I say that because, yes, your son is married. And when you get married, yes, you have to prioritize your family. That starts with your spouse. But why didn't they find a way to apply for you at the same time as a parent? And that makes me wonder if there's something more to this that we need to talk about in private, in our confidential consultation. So you can always give us a call and let's talk. My wife filed for my daughter, and it's been 4 years now, still waiting. What can I do? That's a long time, and I'd have to figure out what was her age at the time, and then figure out, you know, a lot of this is what category are they in, and the category is going to determine the timeline. Good afternoon, Miss Sherifa. What's the contact number to make appointment? So I'm going to put it in the comments, but it's all over my videos. If you go to the link in the profile, it's also there at the link. It's also on the website in the contact us page. And you can also fill out forms to get in touch with us as well. Forms on the web page, or you can and give us a call. There'll be everybody is there, and you can DM us. So there's so many ways. DM us on Facebook, Instagram. TikTok, go ahead and DM us, and we will definitely answer you and talk to you about scheduling the appointment. Or you can look at my videos, the numbers there. You can scroll to the bottom of the comments, and you'll see under U.S. Immigration Attorney, um, Sharifa. If it's more than 12 months and we haven't received anything for the T visa, is that a good sign? So it means processing times are maybe getting longer because they're getting more applications. So, it just depends. It could mean that they're taking more time to review your application. It could mean processing times are getting longer. So, no, it does not necessarily mean that's a bad thing. Um, what is a priority date? Okay, I can spend a whole live on that. Priority date is basically when you submitted your application, they use that date to put you on a wait list for certain categories of immigrants. So that's what it is there. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for all these great questions. Now, if you want to get in touch, talk to us, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you and bring you to success. Go ahead and put your call the office or go to the link in the profile, go to the website. Those are different ways to get in touch with us. We're here to help. And if not, you don't schedule with me, because you can schedule your own appointment, by the way. There's a button that allows you to do that. Schedule with Attorney Bria, schedule with Attorney Diana. We're all here. We all work closer together to qualify our clients and make sure that we can bring our clients to success. That's what they are an extension of me. So when you're doing a consultation with them, you're doing a consultation with them under my supervision. So go ahead and schedule so we can talk about your situation and get to help you as soon as possible. And do that before we are booked out, because we are booking where our schedules are filling up very quickly. And I want to make sure you're on the calendar to move forward. All right. Thanks everyone for your time. I'll see you.